Julie, I absolutely love the end of the season garden. I love gardens in September and October, and I always look forward to inviting people to show theirs off at that time. And unfortunately, though, this summer has not been kind to us with the lack of rain. So I want to thank you profusely for still having us to see what is still a beautiful garden.
Yeah.
How did you pull this off?
Well, I didn't pull it off. Mother Nature did. And, Mother Nature is beautiful, whether it's, alive and bright and growing, or whether it's dormant and, kind of turning in. So it's beautiful whenever, it is in the season. So.
Well, you mentioned earlier that you don't water and that the plants manage with basically what they get and what they have available. But do you make certain plant choices for that?
What's happy will live and what's not happy will die. So that's how I choose. I put something in that I like, and if it dies, it doesn't belong here. So, I will water something to establish it, but I'm not going to baby these plants because I don't have time to do that,
and I don't want to use job.
I don't want to use resources that unnecessarily.
Well, we have this lovely intimate space here, which I wanted to start off in because it's just such a nice private little niche. Can you share with us about it, please?
Well, it's hard to grow grass here. It doesn't want to grow. So it's mostly moss, and then the water would come off and it would create this really dead zone in this shape. And I thought, what can I do with this shape? And I was inspired by dry riverbeds, so I just had some extra stone and started playing with it. And actually I changed it around after spending a week on the river and seeing how the river flowed, and just moved some of the rocks around, and it really popped. So I've enjoyed playing with this little spot.
I can tell because this is gorgeous and it just blends perfectly. And you were saying you had themes in the areas of your garden here. So what was the theme for this space here?
Green and yellow garden there. I have yellow-berried nandinas. I have the akuba, which has yellow and green, and so kind of really light chartreusey green stuff in this end of the garden.
Which kind of gives a little brightness to this very shady spot here. Well, the rest of the garden is equally as interesting. So could you show it to us?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, let's go. Now, Julie, you were saying that you like to infuse and put together native versus non-native plants, and you've got this beautiful intimate space. How did this all come to be?
Well, I wanted to enclose the front of the backyard so we'd kind of have a little more privacy, and that I call this the back 40 back here.
Okay.
There's all these different areas that are fun, but that's kind of how this front part came to be.
So you kind of divided this very large backyard by giving you a living space versus more of an open space.
Yeah, it was a big rectangle.
I can see
so
that.
trying to kind of make it more intimate in the front where we socialize and hang out was the goal here.
Well, you achieved the goal. It's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
But what I also like is your play of textures with the plant choices that you've used, and that you have not stayed, I'll say, a purist, but you've done what everybody in the horticulture industry is trying to get across, is to blend things. So how, again, for this space, what led you to your plant choices?
So I have moved more towards natives, but there's some really beautiful things. Everyone has a different reason for gardening. Like my next door neighbor who died at about 99, she wanted to have one of everything. I garden for design. I like to see what looks good next to each other. And I'm going for beauty and what, overlays beautifully against something else.
Yes, I noticed that you have a black walnut tree that dominates this backyard, and yet underneath it you have hellebore. And so many people think, oh, I have a black walnut, I can't plant anything. But yet you've been able to, underneath, within the root zone of this tree, grow so many different plants.
Yeah, it's never been an issue for me. I guess what is happy there grows and what isn't goes away. And so just keep experimenting year to year with what's happy there. And I really have very little issue with the black walnut and growing things underneath. As a matter of fact, it's one of my favorite parts of the garden in the spring.
Oh, that's fantastic. Because I like the fact that you ignore the list of what grows and what doesn't grow. You just trial what fits with your design intent and what your style is.
Yeah, and I'm not much of a reader, and I don't educate myself in terms of reading and taking classes with the garden. I just do it. So I didn't know there was a list of things that don't grow well. I just put stuff, and what's happy stays there and lives.
And what's happy grows and flourishes, and that's how the plant sale came about. So tell me about that.
Well, that came about when I had a plan done for the front yard, and I had a friend who said, this yard is going to be a jungle. I thought, what could I do with these plants as they grow and multiply and start to take over? And I thought I could put them on the street and put free plants. And then just slowly it emerged the idea of having a plant sale that would benefit something. And then it was really cool, the idea of it benefiting, you know, kind of the area they grow. So I wanted to be local as opposed to the rainforest. I wanted to be, you know, kind of the area where we live and play, which is like the river.
Yes,
so
the river.
The plant sale benefits the Nature Conservancy and what used to be called the Three Rivers programs, the three rivers that feed into the Chesapeake Bay and the lands around them. There's some really old, pristine wilderness there that's very important ecosystem, and so all the money from the plant sale benefits that program.
That is fantastic.
So, yeah, I'm really happy about that. I've been for 20 years. Next year will be 20 years. I started in 2001.
So how do you get all the plants for the sale? I cannot imagine you massing all of these plants. So how do you do this?
Well, all the plants are donated by fellow gardeners.
Okay.
I actually don't even ask for plants. I just talk about the plant sale and people donate plants and whatever's here is here. So it's what's growing well around here. And so it's a great place to get plants because everything that comes into my plant sale is growing well. People have it in excess. So you can pretty much guarantee that what's at my plant sale is probably going to do well in your garden.
Right. Sounds wonderful. So when is the plant sale typically?
It takes place about a week before Mother's Day weekend on a Friday, Saturday. So that's either the very end of April or the first couple of days of May. I picked it for the fact that it's really the end of the frost season, and you can start planning right at the plant sale.
Yes, people can purchase
and go plant and not worry about a frost.
Yes.
It's just a fun community event.
Imagine it's fun just to have all the gardeners here chit-chatting and sharing and talking and laughing.
It is, and learning too.
Yes.
We always have a talk, you know, something about natives or something about invasive species and something about bees or whatever. It's really fun. And there's some great perks with the sale in that if you donate plants, even one plant, at the end of the sale I have hundreds of plants left over, and the people who donated plants can take home as many plants as they want, which could be a lot. So the people who donated 100 plants, they don't want to take home. They want to take home one or two things.
Yes.
The people who donated one plant, they're happy to take home 100. So it cleans out my backyard really quickly. And it's really fun, a little bit competitive as people go for the things they have their eye on and get a lot of free plants.
Sounds like I have to dig up something out of my yard for this plant sale.
Yeah.
Sounds
that would
great.
be wonderful.
Well, Julie, thank you for sharing with us your design intent and your thoughts on your garden. And I know, again, this has been so dry, but yet this garden still looks so inviting and so comfortable to be around because of the choices that you made. So thank you for having us.
Thank you.